Okay, so let's start. What is a cover letter? Cover letter is a kind of a letter which is official in nature. It's a kind of a business letter that uses formal language and formal format. As you know already that there are two types of formats. One is informal, the other one is formal. So cover letter is a letter which actually advocates or follows the format which is standard and official in nature. It is the kind of document or a kind of first page that is the contact between you and your potential employer. Whenever you apply for a job, you send a CV, you send a resume, and sometimes they ask for cover letter. So in a cover letter, you're supposed to attach extra information if it is not given in your resume. It also answers the basic questions about you, the educational background, the personal background, the marital status. Basically, it answers the WH words, that is who, what, where, when, why, and how, and whether you're a suitable candidate for the job or not. Then, what are the goals of a cover letter? Of course, the goal is to express your personality, your academic upfront, how you will behave, how you have behaved as a professional, and what are your skills, what are your strengths and weaknesses. All these things could be there in a cover letter depending on the situation and the kind of a job that you have applied for. This is the document that actually intrigues the potential buyer or potential employer to approach you. It's that one first document that will get you the interview, right? So you have to make sure that the cover letter is very appropriate. It also helps in making the right decision in the mind of the employer. Now, these are the four S that you can keep in mind while writing a cover letter: sensitivity, strategy, sales, and self confidence. So, you need to be audience oriented. You have to make sure that you're sensitive enough towards the potential employer. When I say potential employer, I mean to say the future employer that you can have, your boss, your supervisor, and etc. You have to devise a strategy that what kind of information you're going to add and what kind of reaction you can get out of your audience, which is probably that panel or that boss or the potential employer. Then sales. Now, this is one particular point which is very important. You should avoid I want. You should always put your audience or your potential employer first. What you can say is that what I can offer you. This is a subtle way of making a meaning indirect yet very direct, that you are very much interested in the job and you're kind of submissive and you're a good, or you could be a good addition to their company. For example, if I say I want to focus on my career, I want to become something, I want to achieve heights of success, and etc. etc. That puts me first. But if you want to settle in a company or in an institution, you need to put them first. Their progress, their success should be your priority. So that is how you sell yourself. You have to sell yourself in front of the potential employer. Then self confidence. You have to be very comfortable while actually pitching for yourself. Of course, when you're in a situation you have to get a job and you're trying to impress upon the people who are listening to you, you're actually a product at that moment. Basically, everybody is a product of a society. We do what a society asks us to do or expects of us. If we do something which is not expected of us, what happens? The audience or the people or the society, it goes crazy. It says that you're not the right person, you do not fit, right? So in that particular moment when you're looking for a job, you're a product in the market and you want to sell yourself. So Avoid extra information. Do not lie in your cover letter. Do not exaggerate the kind of skills you have. Never write that you're excellent in English or excellent in writing because nobody could. That's a bit of exaggeration of your skills, right? So you need to make sure the kind of information that you're putting in a cover letter is correct, accurate, and not bragging anything or any sort. Now, there are different kinds of letters, as I've shared with you. Then there are different formats. So, cover letter has also a number of formats that you can find online or in books easily. But these are the general points that are there in a cover letter or in its format. You have to use the formal business letter formatting. You have to stay on one page. Try not to make it two or more pages. It should be a one pager so that the employer can look at your document at a glance. I must share with you that a potential client or a potential employer only looks at a resume or a cover letter or documents of these sorts for 6 seconds maximum, right? So your cover letter should be short, brief, and to the point, yet it should be able to cover all the points. You should be able to, uh, or you should be sensitive towards the date and what kind of indentation you are going to use, and always sign your cover letter. Triple check for typos. There shouldn't be any typographical issues or spelling mistakes or tenses issues. So proofread it multiple times. You can have someone check it for you. You can ask help from your friends even. Now the tone of the letter should be formal. It should not be casual. You have to address the particular person with an official tone, right? Use simple and direct language, avoid unnecessarily decorative language, and go for shorter and simple sentences. For example, I am in receipt of your correspondence. Now, this is formal and verbose. If I say, I got your note, that's casual and simple. You can even say, I received your letter. I hope you're getting my point that do not use daily life language like you're talking to someone who you can take for granted. You cannot take your cover letter for granted because it's the first initial document that actually takes you to the point of interview. Now you have to make sure that there are no grammatic mistakes or grammar mistakes. You should use dictionary for spelling mistakes, right? You should use apostrophes correctly. Watch synonyms. You should know the difference between your and you are, there, and they are, right? All of these things should be kept in mind while writing. Now, in the format of the cover letter, so in cover letter format, first thing that we have is headings. You can copy and paste heading from your resume. After this, we'll be talking about resume and CV writing, of course. I brought cover letter before CV writing because it's the first document and you should be able to understand and differentiate between the two documents. And I've found out after years of experience that students they tend to understand cover letter before CV writing more appropriately, right? Because then they are able to make the difference between cover letter and the CV, right? So you can add date, name, title, company, full address, all these things could be there. Then you can use formal title, for example, the Honorable Dean, Mr., Miss, or Mrs., right? Now, one thing I'd like to share with you that in British formatting, you cannot use the full form. My name is Sadia Munir, right? So if you're addressing me, you will address me as Ms. Sadia. Is that correct? No, that's not. You cannot take my first name. In American culture or British culture or foreign culture for that matter, our second name, which we usually call it a surname, is the way to address somebody. So they would call me Miss Munir. If I submit a research article in a foreign journal, The way they address me is always Miss Munir. They do not call me Miss Sadia. They do not call me, uh, you know, they do not use my first name. They always use my second name or surname. There is a reason, and that is because of the cultural differences. Even in the schools of foreign countries, they do not call their teachers a sir or a madam, because these are the titles which are given to the people of higher rank. Sir, the title sir, which we use extensively in our daily lives, these titles were given in Middle English or Middle Ages of history of English literature to the people who were knights, who were the soldiers, and they had done something in the battlefield or in the field of any art history. So the sir title is not for referring to a teacher or a lecturer or your professor, but it is being used in South Asia extensively. But in foreign countries, they use, for example, let's say John Smith is the name of the professor. So the students will call him Mr. Smith, not Jones. Then we have salutations. Dear Mr. Ms., I hope you do understand the difference between MS and MISS. MS means Ms., that means you do not know the marital status of the person. That is why you're using Miss. And if you use MISS Miss, that is for the younger lot. Younger lot, I mean to say people ranging from 18 to 30 years of age, they are addressed as Miss if they are single, if they are not married. Otherwise, if you're not sure, then you can simply use MS, that is Miss. Last name only, use a colon. Now, using a colon is also a interesting usage because some of the books they use it and some of the books they do not use it. So you should follow the salutation that are given in your books, right? And you need to be very sensitive regarding the prefix that you are going to use. If somebody's a judge, somebody's a doctor, somebody's a justice, you have to use these words appropriately. Then we have the body of the entire cover letter. First paragraph is the hook. It talks about what do you want, what you can offer, and what are the special circumstances, if there are any. Then the second paragraph, which could be optional, it's the sales pitch, where you ask for the job, you ask for what should you give them in order to secure the job. And the last paragraph or the last concluding lines, they talk about the call of action. You can add an in the or at the end that you can contact me on my mobile number or email address so that they can catch you if they want to contact you. So closing has to be very, let's say, to the point and strong. Now, this is one example of cover letter. As you can see at the top, there is the address given, email address, month, day, year, full name, title of the addressee, name of the organization, street address, city, state, zip code. So ये सारी चीजें you'll be adding over here. And then salutation is dear Mr. or Miss. Then first paragraph, second paragraph, and third paragraph, whatever you're supposed to write is written in these paragraphs. You type your name over here and then you sign it over here. So that is what a cover letter is. This is one example of a cover letter.